Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today I'm going to be going through basics in C++. Last stream I went through while loops and for loops in C++, or like mastering syntaxes, and I realized that I do already know most of these syntaxes, but I am a little weak in the C++ basics. So today I'm going to be going through C++ basics. With that said, let me go ahead and go to my gameplay screen. Alright, perfect. Okay, let me say live. Before that, let me just remove this. There we go. Let's say I'm live. Exclamation. Okay, let's see. Let me get everything else here. And honestly, before I start this, let me just say in my Discord that I'm going live because I always forget that. Like, okay, let me copy that. Go to my Discord announcements. Right there. Okay, let me paste it. Just say everyone, I'm live! Exclamation. Okay, perfect. Okay, with that out of the way, listen up Vivek, listen up chat. The difference between a master and a novice is that a master has failed more times than a novice has ever tried. Guys, this quote is from the anime called, I forgot, Assassination Classroom. Break, fix, repeat. This is how you rise. Today we grind loops until they surrender to us. And guys, I feel like, is my stream laggy? It says no data. Is my OBS going good? Okay, OBS looks pretty good. I feel it's... Okay, I hope it's going good. Okay, first drill. Yo, good evening. How did you I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, so first drill, write a program in C++ that uses a while loop to print the number from 1 to 10 on the same line separated by spaces. Okay, let me get say there. Okay, next up, let me just actually remove this from here. Okay, that should probably help with my stream lag. And guys, this is the code that I worked on like last stream. I didn't have time to like write any other codes. Okay, there we go. So let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and include vector as well. Honestly, I might not need vector because I'm not using containers this time. So I could go with something like, let's say, typecast my main function to be an integer. Add a pair of curly braces, maybe go with a bunch of spaces. Next up, the instruction says to write a program in C++ that uses a while loop to print the number all the way from 1 to 10. So to do that, I could create a integer of count. This is going to be equal to 10. Okay, next up, I'll set that equal to 10. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll add something like a while loop. So while a pair of parentheses, while my count variable is, let's say, greater than 0, which it is currently. Okay, while my count variable is greater than 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a standard console output, okay, with an insertion operator. Okay, honestly, I could go with something like, since I wanna print 1 to 10 using a while loop. Okay, this could be something like my count variable, okay, and then I'll go with a / new line. Okay, there we go. Okay, next up I'll go with my count minus. Okay, so this basically should get count down all the way. Already mic testing. Guys, you guys can ignore this lag for now. My OBS just crashed. That said, I am getting like a new PC, so that will help with my OBS crashes later on. Okay, so if I were to hit Control S, run the code, and then go ahead and run the command. Okay, let's see. Guys, the MIDI piece is actually getting pretty annoying. There we go. So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, let's go with a Control C, copy that, get /ChatGPT here. Let me paste it, go with Shift Enter, and then say something like, actually just send it. Okay, Vivek, you think you're clever, huh? But look at what you did. You printed 10 down to 1 with new lines, not 1 up to 10 on the same line. Oh, wait, was it 1 up to 10? Wait, let me actually try figuring how to do that. Okay, let's go with something like this in that case. While my count is less than 10, honestly, I could go with greater than 0. Actually, while my count is less than 10. and 0 is less than 10, I'll go with count plus plus and not in a new line. I will separate it by a space, so I think this should work as well. Let's go to the controllers to save how to run the command. There we go, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me change that to 11. Now if I were to hit Control S and run the command. Okay, perfect. Let's go with a Control C, copy that, get sensei/ChatGPT here. Let me paste it, say, go with Shift Enter, say, let's say, this works. Okay, let's see. Okay, you impatient fool, look at your output, did I? Okay. Alright guys, I guess Sensei got censored. Okay, not so fast warrior, your code output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gotta go from 1 to 10, so I should just probably change my count to 1. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fix it. Alright. And guys, I'm just getting warmed up right now. So let me change that to 1. And yeah, this also does make sense. Guys, I hope my OBS doesn't crash again. Okay, let me change that to less than or equal to. Guys, this lag is honestly real bad. Okay, let me hit Control S. Now if I were to run the command. Okay, let's see. Okay guys, I literally get an error that says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I can't wait guys to like get a new PC. Okay, let's see. Alright guys, this is taking like way too long. There we go. I think I should just slow down a little. Okay, let's slow down a little so I have enough frames up. Okay, let's get Sensei here. Guys, I'm going really slow so like I don't go, because I feel like I'm at 20 frames per second right now. Okay, let me paste that, go with Shift Enter, and I mean just send it. Okay, now we're talking Vivek. Perfect output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You started at 1, ended at 10, and used spaces. This is exactly what I commanded. Listen, off by 1 errors are the sneakiest enemies in loops. Check your start and end off condition. Next drill, slightly harder. Write a program using a while loop to print all even numbers from 2 to 20 on the same line, separated by spaces. Okay, get this slowly back to my other monitor. There we go. Okay, so let me go with the controller, delete the whole thing. Guys, this is laggy. Okay, let me start off including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Guys, yeah, this is going on. Let me go and include IO stream. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Pretty sure you guys can. Like, what's wrong with the lag, guys? Let me check if everything. I don't know what's causing the lag. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main. Okay. Then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then maybe add a bunch of spaces. Okay, I'll go with 1, 2, 3. Guys, it's like way too laggy. What's going on? Alright, next up, let me go ahead and create a variable called, I don't know, count. So I'll go with an integer count, which is going to be equal to, I had to find even numbers, right? So first I could go ahead and find even numbers. I'll keep this to something like 1. Actually, I have to find from 2 to 20, right? So I'll go with 2. Okay, and then I'll go with something like even count. So I could go with like a while loop. So while a pair of parentheses, while my count variable is less than or equal to 20, I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a condition. So first, I could create another variable inside of my while loop that checks if my... Guys, can you guys even like see my stream, or is it that laggy? It still says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay, I guess I'll just I gotta figure this out maybe after I get it out of the PC. Okay, so while count. So first I could like create a variable that's gonna whatchamacallit. Okay, I would need a variable that, and then let me go ahead and add a if statement. I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. So if my count modulus 2, okay, equals to 0, then I'll do something. My even number equals to true. Okay, let me change my integer even number to something like a boolean, because I'll use it as a flag actually to check if there is an even number. Okay, there we go. Even number equals to true. Next up, let's go with another if statement. If my even number, so if a pair of parentheses, if even number is set to true, I'll do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add something like, let's see, I could go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of something like, I want to insert my count variable with another insertion operator of an empty space, ending with a semicolon. Okay, next up, I'll go with my count variable. I'll add count plus plus to increase my count by 1 every time. And let me go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. Okay, so let's try to read the code. So first, my initial count variable is set to true and then added a while loop. So while my count variable is less than or equal to 20, okay, my loop runs. And if my count, okay, I think this works. If I were to hit Control S to save the code and like run the command, okay, it prints 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It prints everything all the way to 20. I just want to print my counts. Okay, even number equals to count. Or I could go with something like count equals to even number. Let me change this to integer again. Okay, and then I'll change this to something like count equals to my even number variable. Okay, there we go. I could add another boolean for like is even. I could go with something like okay, instead let me just copy my standard console output and guys, oh there we go, finally the whatchamacallit stream is not lagging anymore. Took a while for my OBS to get back to normal. Okay, so basically what I did here was first added an if statement to check if my count variable modulus 2 equals to 0. If that is, my count variable is going to be equal to my even number, and then I display that on my screen. Let me go with the Control S and run the command. Okay, there we go, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, perfect. Okay, let me go with the Control A, Control C, copy that, get c/ChatGPT here. Okay, there. Guys, finally it's not lagging. It was so annoying when it was lagging. Okay, let me just paste it. Vivek, what are you doing? Look at this disaster. Count equals to, oh, I had to go with 1 equals to. Okay, equals to is a comparison, not an assignment. Okay, that was my bad. You don't even need even number count. Okay, count already is the number you want to print. Your loop also doesn't need to check count modulus 2 equals to 0. If you start at 2 and increment by 2, fixed strategy. Option 1, simple using modulus. Simple using, I don't see a modulus here. Okay, so we have an integer count variable which just set to 2 and then a while loop. So while our count variable is less than or equal to 20, standard console output, I want to display my count, and count increases by 1 every time. ChatGPT roasting you? Guys, that's what Satsa has been doing for so long. Okay, then inside, only print if count modulus 2 equals to 0. You can do that, okay? Option 2, better, no modulus needed. So, wait, could we even go with plus e? Can we use, I didn't know that we could use augmented assignment operators in C++. I thought that's just a Python thing. This makes things so much more easier. Let me just say that. So let's say I did know that we could use augmented assignment operator in C++ as well. Question mark. I thought that it was only for Python. Huh. Guys, I didn't want to write that in caps. Ha ha ha, Vivek, listen to me. C++ isn't a shy little Python baby. It loves augmented assignment operators too. Count plus equals to 2 works in C++ exactly like how it works in... Oh, okay, I see. That makes more sense. Okay, that would actually make things much more easy because I used to use plus every single time. So instead, I can just use an augmented assignment operator. So I wouldn't even need this. Okay, honestly, I might not need this whole thing. Let me just delete that. There we go. Okay, maybe when I delete the count. So while my count variable is less than or equal to 20, which it is less than 20, I'm going to do something. Let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of my count variable. There we go. I'll go with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, but above that, I will go with something like count plus equals to 2. Okay, this honestly would work as well. This would work like perfectly. Okay, integer count. Actually, now I want to use my count variable. I want to increment my count variable by 2. So it's plus equals to 2. Okay, with a semicolon. There we go. Plus equals to 2. Okay, if I were to hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, we get the same things. Although that is 468. Okay, I guess I'll go with plus equals to 2 and I'll change that to 0. Okay, now let's go with the Control S to save, and if I run the code. Okay, perfect, that works. Let's go with the Control C, copy that, get some /ChatGPT here. Paste it. Okay, and guys, this is like the real beginner level step. I am getting warmed up. I do want to gradually get harder. How is this almost? Vivek, almost, but you just made an off by 2 errors. Look at your output. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20, 22. You see that 22 at the end? That's because you incremented count before printing. Okay, fixed strategy. Okay, I thought that we usually increment first. Or start at 0 and increment after printing. Okay. I thought that we usually increment because I thought that order of operations does work here. Okay, let's paste it here, I guess. Okay, now if I hit Control S and run the code. Let's see. Okay, now I don't get this thing. What happens if I change this to 2 now? Okay, honestly, I do see why incrementing it first or like printing it first did make sense, because now I do start with 2 initially because my count is set to true. Then I gradually move up by 2. Okay, that does make sense. Let's go with a Control C, copy that. Okay, let's paste it this time. Alright, that's it, Vivek. Perfect output. You print it first, then incremented, no extra numbers, no off by 2 traps. This is exactly how a master handles loop. Next drill. Now we mix if statements with while loops. Instruction: write a C++ program using a while loop that prints numbers 1 to 15. If number is divisible by 3, print fizz instead the number. Okay, print fizz instead of the number. Otherwise, print the number. All on the same line, separated by spaces. Okay, let's say there. So firstly, let me go ahead and do a Control A, delete everything, and start off by including a hashtag, pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. Then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Okay, next up, if the number, write a C++ program using a while loop that prints numbers from 1 to 15. So I could go with something like integer number. Okay, numbers. I'll set that equal to 1. And then let's go ahead and add a while loop. So I'll go with while, a pair of parentheses, while my numbers as variable is, let's say, less than. Actually, less than or equal to 15. There we go. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then if the number is divisible by 3, print fizz instead of the number, otherwise print the number. Okay, let's go with the if statement. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses, if my numbers, let's say modulus 3 equals to 0. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. I'm gonna add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to print fizz. There we go. Okay, perfect. I'll go with another insertion operator of a standard end line. Okay, perfect. Let's go with a else clause now. I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna be my numbers. Okay, I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, so if my number is divisible by 3, I show a standard console output of fizz, else I go with the number itself. And then I'm assuming I go with my count. Actually, my numbers is variable plus plus. I increase it by 1 every single time. And then let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, ended off with a semicolon. If I hit Control S and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, it prints 1, 2, fizz, 4, 5, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, 10, 11, fizz, 13, 14, fizz. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the Control C, get it here. Guys, I feel like I'm understanding C++ much better now. Okay, let me paste it. Vivek, I see what you did, but you just committed a stream crime. Your code output. How is that wrong, guys? It looks correct. Problems. You're using standard end line and new line that prints each number on a new line, not on the same line as instructed. Okay, the instructions was all on the same line, separated by spaces. Okay, was I in the instruction? Did I read the instructions wrong? Guys, I just don't read my instructions properly. Okay, problems. You're using okay. Fixed strategy, replace / end with end line. Okay. Alright, if I want to print in, I didn't know, guys. I didn't read the instructions properly. I could just go with a space. There we go. Now if I hit Control S and run the command. There we go. It's 1, 2, fizz, 4, 5, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, 10, 11, fizz, 12, 13, fizz. Okay. Let's go with the Control C. Get it here. Guys, I do want to start mini projects soon as well, honestly. Okay, now we're talking, Vivek. Perfect output. You kept it on the same line, spaced correctly, and the logic is solid. This is exactly how a master handles conditions inside loops. Next drill. Let's develop nested loops. Okay, instructions. Write a C++ program using nested for loops to print this pattern. Okay, so 1 asterisk, 2 asterisk, 3 asterisk, 4 asterisk, 5 asterisk. Each row has a number of stars equal to its own row, okay? Use space to separate these stars. This is where the inner and outer loops start to train your brain like a steel. Okay, this is going to be a little confusing, but I think I got this. Let's go with a Control A, delete the whole thing. Let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Okay, maybe a bunch of spaces. Alright, so let's see. Write a C++ program using nested for loops. Okay, so if I want to use for loop, I gotta add vectors as well. So let's go with something like hashtag include vector. Okay, there we go. And then now that I've included vector, let me go ahead and create a standard vector. Okay, which only consists of... Wait, are symbols considered integers? I don't think so. My whole plan was to like do this and then add something like symbols. I'll set that equal to an asterisk. There we go. Okay guys, I think this doesn't make any sense. Instead I could... How do we create asterisk? Oh, okay, I could go with something like an integer of count. I'll set that equal to 5 because we needed 5 rows, right? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we did need 5 rows. What do you use to learn? Books or YouTube or course? Honestly, I use ChatGPT. Like, Sensei/ChatGPT has been helping with everything I do so far. I do watch a few YouTube tutorials as well, but that's like if I have a lot of time and if I need to like set something up. For example, if I wanted to like set my VS Code up, I watched a YouTube tutorial and like learned the basics. Once I know like a general basic foundation, once I have the foundation, I move on to doing practice questions using AI/ChatGPT/Sensei. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and create a for loop. So I'll go with something like for rough parentheses. How do I create? Okay, so I could go with something like for every integer of 5. Okay, for every integer of 5. Okay, maybe I remove that. Okay, for every integer of count, which is equal to 5. Do I need to use range here, guys? I might have to ask a little help. Or wait, can I use range? For every range. Bro, using namespace standard instead of calling standard function each time. Honestly, so many people say that to me, but I'm like, eventually when we make bigger projects, using the namespace and like not using standard console output is gonna cause like name clashing. So like if we use standard console output, that is like a good practice. With that said, let's go with the control C. I do have a quick question. Okay, let me paste this, go with shift enter, and says, let's say I feel like I don't know how to use the range function in C++. Is it the same as Python question mark? Okay, let's see. Vivek, hold your horses. First, you wrote is what you wrote is a broken and incomplete. Okay, that for every integer count equals 5 is nowhere near a loop C++ will run. Second, let me clarify, C++ has no range function like Python. I thought it did. In Python, you can do for every index in range 5 print I. In C++, you do it with for loops and conditions. Okay, this is what I was trying to do, guys. I actually forgot how do we do this. So for every integer of I which equals to 0, if I is less than 5, I plus plus. That does make sense. Standard console output I with an insertion operator. That's start, that's condition, that's increment. There is no magic range function. You must manually set start, excuse me guys, end and step. Now let's go back to your nested loop star pattern. Okay, you will write the full inner and outer loop for loops. Okay, since there is no range function, I could do this. So let's go with count 0. Okay, and then let's add another statement. While my count variable is less than 5, which it currently is, okay, less than or equal to 5, I'll increase my count by 1. So I'll go with a semicolon. My count variable is going to be plus plus. Alright, perfect. Next up, let me go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. First, I added a count variable. I added my condition. I did the incrementation. Okay, so that's my outer for loop. Let's add another for loop inside of this for loop. For a pair of parentheses, let's say, I could go with something like, couldn't my count be like a star? That would make things so much easier. What happens if I just go with like a standard console output with an insertion operator? I want to insert a asterisk. Hey Vivek, how have you been? I've been good. How are you doing, Robert? I appreciate you joining this stream. Vivek, use Nim language. It's almost exactly like Python, but compiles to C, C++, or JavaScript. You can do low-level stuff and then compile handles most error checking. Honestly, that does sound pretty good. I might just try that. Okay, let's end that with a semicolon. Okay, I do want to see what happens if I run this. Let me return 0. Okay, if I had Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, that prints, is that 6? That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, it prints 6 asterisks. In the other hand, I wanted to print 1 asterisk for 1 row and then move on to the second row. I could do it manually, but I don't think that's how we should do it. Okay, so I have a count variable here. Okay, so I have a count variable which is equal to 0. Then count is less than or equal to 5. I increment the count by 1. Honestly, I might ask this part to Sensei because I have like no idea how to do this. Okay, let's get Sensei's ChatGPT here. Let me paste it, go with shift enter and say Sensei. I honestly have no idea on how to use symbols as variables. Question mark. Okay, let's see. Vivek, slow down. You're overthinking. Symbols like asterisk are not variables. They're just characters you print. You don't store them in a variable unless you want. For example, standard count is enough to print a star. Here's how nested loops work for the star pattern. Outer loop rows 1 to 5. Inner loop columns print how many stars. Like this, for every integer row which equals to 1, if my row is less than or equal to 5, I increment my row by 1. I did that part. And then next up, another for loop for every integer of column which equals to 1. Column is less than, if my column is less than or equal to my row, column increases by 1. I go with a standard console output. How does this? Okay, actually I do see how this makes sense because we have a standard console output of a new line there. See, no need for variables named asterisk. The star is just a character in console output. Actually, somebody said me this is a character output. Okay, in character output, Vivek, now I want you to rewrite your nested loop star pattern using this logic. Okay, let's try the logic. Said I. How doing, Rajesh? I appreciate you joining this stream. And guys, if I can't pronounce you guys' names correctly, you guys can like ignore that because I'm kind of awful at pronunciations. Okay, this is gonna be row. I mean, this could honestly be count. Like, it could be called anything, honestly. Okay, let's add a nested loop. Bro, may chat GPT angry. Guys, I try my best. Okay, let's go with for every integer of column. Okay, which equals to 1. Okay, my column equals to 1. And then, let's see. The reason my column does equal to 1 is because I do want to start with like 1 star first instead of like having 0 stars. Okay, I'll go with if my column is less than or equal to my count variable, which is my row. I'll go with another asterisk. My column is going to increase by 1. Okay, and then I go with a standard console output. Actually, inside a pair of curly braces, I go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting a text, something like asterisk. There we go, with a space. And then I'll end it with a semicolon, and outside of my inner for loop, I'm going to be adding a standard console output of a standard end line. There we go, perfect. Okay, if I had Control S to save the code and run the command, bro, I'm not gonna lie, we know about the same C++, but I think you should start learning SDL and OpenGL for games because you know almost enough. Down the line, you'll just have to learn a bit more. Honestly, I do want to like master the whole thing because I do want to like be a software engineer. Like, I don't want to like get a major in that. I do want to be a cybersecurity or an AI engineer. The reason I am doing the software engineering stuff is like for some experience in programming and learning how the projects work. That said, I will be exploring different languages as well because I do want to explore a lot more different languages and see which I enjoy the most. Once I figure that out, then I'm going to be sticking with the language. Okay, let me paste it. Okay, yes, Vivek, perfect. This prints exactly. Outer loop controls the rows, inner loop prints as many stars. Okay. Standard end line moves to the next line. You just mastered nested loops and I could not be prouder. Next drill, let's combine while loops with nested loops. Instructions. Use a while loop to print the following triangle, okay, pattern with numbers instead of stars. Okay, use a while loop for rows. Use a nested loop for columns for printing numbers in each row. This will force you to think in 2 dimensions, rows and columns, using both while loops and for loops. Okay, let's try this. Let me go ahead and delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of anchor brackets, IO stream. I want to include IO stream. I won't be including vectors. Next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, a pair of curly braces, then add like a bunch of spaces. And then now, what was the instructions? It says use a while loop to print the following pattern with numbers instead of stars. Use a while loop for rows. Use nested loops for printing the numbers in each row. Okay, I think I might know how to do this. Let's go with integer count. This is going to be equal to 5. Okay, and then let's add a while loop. So I'll go with while a pair of parentheses, and then while my count variable is greater than 0, which it is greater than 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let me go ahead and add a for loop. So I'll go with something like for a pair of parentheses. Okay, now I gotta add columns here. Columns are the horizontal ones, if I'm not wrong. Like, you should definitely look at nim later if you want to stick with a language you like. It's easy as Python and has simplicity, but can be fast as C and C++. Instead of standard console output, you should just use /endline. It improves performance and does the same job. Honestly, I actually might do that in that case. Okay, let's see. So for every So first I added a while loop. Since I'm going to be going with columns, I could go for every integer of columns. Okay, which is going to be equal to 1 because I want to start with 1. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add something like while my column is I want to add up to 5. While my column is less than or equal to 5, I'll increase my column by 1. So column plus plus. Okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. Let's see. I want to insert my column with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, perfect. Now outside my for loop, I don't think that I should... Okay, let's see. So my column is here. There's my count. I want to do it 5 times. So let me go outside my for loop. Go with my count variable minus minus. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I would hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Okay, I think I know where I messed up. I honestly might even add like a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Now if I hit Control S and run the command. Okay, it prints 5 columns of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, instead of columns, could I go with count in here? Okay, let's go with a Control S to save and run the code. Okay, that's 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay. I just want to print 1. Wait, hold up. What if I went with rows and columns using a for loop? How do you use a while loop for rows? Okay, let's think. The way I used while loops for rows using a for loop, I went with integer row which equals to 0. Okay. Honestly, I do want to try it real quick with a for loop instead of a while loop. So let's go with a for loop real quick. Let me even remove the return 0. Okay, so I'll go with a for loop. For a pair of parentheses, let's go with something like for every integer of row which equals to 0. Okay, I'll go with something like while my row is less than or equal to 5. Okay, I'll go on that with a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and increment my row by 1 every single time. Okay, perfect. And then let me go ahead and add a pair of curly braces, and then add another for loop. This is going to be the inner for loop for my columns. So I'll go with for every integer of column, okay, which equals to 1, because I do want to start it by 1. Okay, I'll go with something like row, while my column honestly, while my column is less than my row, or less than or equal to my row. Okay, I'll increase my column by 1 as well. So I'll go with something like my column plus plus. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator. Next up, let's see. Column equals to 1. Doesn't this increment? Okay, I don't need an insertion operator there. There we go. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like my column variable. Okay, I will end that with a semicolon. Honestly, I might go with like an empty space and then a semicolon. Outside my for loop, this is going to be an insertion operator. Outside my for loop, I could go with something like, let's see, what do I want to increase by 1? So I don't need my count variable right now. Okay, so for every integer of row which equals to 0, row is less than or equal to 5. Okay, this is where I print my column. Let me go ahead and increase my row. Okay, so I'll go with my... Actually, let me go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Let's see, of a / new line. I do increment or increase my row by 1 there. Let me run this and check what happens. Okay, this is the result I wanted with a while loop, but I did it with a for loop. Okay, let's just go with a control C real quick. Let me get sensei/.gpd here. Okay, let me paste here, go with shift enter and say sensei. I know how to do this with a for loop, ... Although I've never done it with a while loop, ... Can you teach me how? Okay, let's see how do we do it with the while loop. Okay, fine Vivek, you're ready to step up. We're going to take your for loop pattern and turn it into a while loop pattern. Here's the thinking. Outer loop controls the rows, okay? use a while loop. Inner loop prints the numbers in each row, okay? Can still use a for loop or while loop if you want the full challenge. Okay, step-by-step logic. So first we include IOStream, the typecast our main function to be an integer. We create a variable called row which is equal to 1, start at row 1, and then we add a while loop. While my row is less than or equal to 5, 1 is less than or equal to 5, I go with a for loop. So for every column which equals to 1, if my column is less than or equal to my row, column increases by 1, okay? Standard console output, okay, column, outside my for loop, I go with the standard console output of a new line and I increment row by 1. It seems like the same exact logic, guys. What language is this? It's C++. Okay, optional harder version, use while loops for both. So first we go with a while loop, okay? In the inner while loop, we create a variable called integer, then another while loop, okay, standard console output. Honestly, okay, and I do see it is exactly the same as for loop, just a few syntaxes are changed. Okay, see how you replace the inner loops, okay, it's my turn to rewrite, guys. I feel like I understand the code, now I can write it. Okay, let's go with the controller, delete the whole thing. Let me start off by including a pair of angle brackets, and let me include IOStream, and then let's go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a row variable. So I'll go with integer row. This equals to 1 because I want my rows to start by 1. And then let me go ahead and add a while loop. So while, a pair of parentheses, while my row variable is less than or equal to 5, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a, honestly, I'll go with 2 while loops because, yeah, I want to actually try 2 while loops. Okay, let's go with another while loop. This time, let me go ahead and add columns. So to add columns, I can probably like go ahead and create an integer of column variable as well, which equals to, pretty sure it was equal to 1 as well. So while my row variable is less than or equal to my column variable, I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, let's see, what do I add here? My row is in charge of my vertical. My column is in charge of my horizontal place. Don't use while loop for number-based checks. For optimized. Oh, I see. I'm honestly just using it like for practice. Also try to write code that's well spaced and use comments when necessary and meaningful variable names. Honestly, yeah, I do need to start using comments. Like, I used to use a lot of comments in Python, but then I'm not used to it in C++. I should like actually start writing comments. Okay, let's go with column with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and increase my column or increment it by 1. And outside my while loop, I'll increase my row variable, okay, by 1. Let me go ahead and add a standard console output as well. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, there we go. If I were to hit Control S and run the command, let's see. Oh my gosh, it never ends, guys. Didn't I add a break statement? Okay, while my row is less than or equal to 5, my row keeps increasing by 1, less than or equal to 5. It should have honestly stopped. Let me actually take a look at the reference code. Okay, so row equals to 1, I did that, and then while my row is less than or equal to 5, okay, I go with integer column which equals to 1 as well. Okay, this should have been while my column is less than or equal to row instead of my row. Crazy. I feel like adding a space before after insertion operators will make it more readable, but it's just a preference. Honestly, yeah, I used to like think adding spaces, but since I am streaming like vertically, so you guys can see the whole code, and it's not like too spread out, I like don't add spaces. That said, let's change this to column and change that to row. Okay, go with the standard console output. Okay, if I hit Control S now and run the command. Okay, there we go, that works. Okay, I do know how to do this with a while loop and a while loop now. Let's try doing it with a while loop and a for loop now. So let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces. IO stream, and then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, a bunch of spaces, and then let's go ahead and create a variable. So I'll create a variable called row, which is going to start at 1, and then let's go ahead and add a while loop with a pair of parentheses. I'll go with while my row variable is less than or equal to 5, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let me go ahead and add a for loop inside now. So I'll go with a for loop. For every integer of column which equals to 1 as well, I'll check something. If my column is less than or equal to my row variable, okay, I'll go with another insertion. I'll go with a semicolon, and then I'll increment my column by 1. Okay, so column plus plus. There we go, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let me go ahead and add a standard console output. By the way, you can write using a namespace standard after including a pre-processing statement, and then you don't have to write standard colon every time. Honestly, as so many people do say me to use namespace, like right here, like so many people say me to do this, like using. Guys, I feel the stream is gonna start lagging again. There we go. So many people say me to do this, although the reason I don't do this is because in bigger projects, using namespace can like cause name conflicts. To avoid that, we usually type standard console output instead of just like console output. Okay, and guys, the stream started to lag again, no way. Okay, using namespace is not a good practice, by the way, because it may lead to conflicts, and it also makes the code less readable because you don't know where the function is coming from. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, so I go with a standard console output. This is going to be my column. Okay, which is going to be separated by a space. Okay, and guys, here comes the stream lag again. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and increment my row by 1 as well. But before that, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of, let's say, a / new line. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and increase my row by 1 as well. Alright, perfect. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Guys, my stream is just going to be lagging like for a couple more days because I am trying to build a PC. I'll definitely, stream myself doing that. But for now, let's go with a Control S to save. If I were to run the command, you're not writing a bigger project. Good practice is to know when to use certain techniques. Honestly, like I do prefer like using different kind of techniques and everything. Although, like eventually, if I write big projects, if I'm not used to writing standard console output, then it's gonna it might like cause confusion, or like I might just not use it in a place that I have to. Although I don't think it's like there's a harm in like using a sub, like might as well practice with it. That said, good Vivek, you've got the while outer loop down perfectly. But remember, the next step to really master while loops is to replace the inner for loop with a while loop. I did that as well. Guys, let me just copy that. I did that. I'll just copy and paste it. Okay, let's paste it. Love from America. I appreciate you, Nati. Okay, yes, Vivek. Perfect. This is pure nested while loop masterclass output. Okay. Now you own while loops, for loops, and nested loops. Next drill, let's combine your power multiplication table using nested for loops. Instructions: write a C++ program using nested for loops to print 5 multiplied by 5, okay, or 5 times 5x5 multiplication table like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. Oh, I see. Outer loop rows, inner loop columns. Print the product, okay, row multiplied by column. Okay, I see. I think I understand what this means. Bro, your opinion match exactly. Okay, where do you get the questions, bro? Honestly, it's all ChatGPT, guys. Ever since I even started programming, like, I think 114 days ago when I first started learning Python as an absolute beginner, I've just been using ChatGPT, and like that, I feel that helps me so much. Okay, next up, let me start off by, you're actually consistent. I appreciate you, Ben. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream. Okay, this is the eyes and ears of our program. Next up, let me typecast my main function to be an integer, and then go with the pair of curly braces. If you get to that point, you'll most likely be using a framework with a dedicated longer, so there is not a big problem here that muscle memory isn't a big issue. Oh, I see. Okay, so I gotta create 5 tables. So write a C++ program using a nested for loop. So I need to use a nested for loop. So let's go with a for loop. For a pair of parentheses, let's go with for every integer of row, which is gonna be equal to 1 initially. Okay, I'll go with a colon, and then let's go with something like for every integer of row which equals to 1. I'll check if my row is okay, if my row is less than or equal to 5, because I do want to just print up to 5 table. You should be actively think while you're using nested while loops. While you're creating a list, every line you write should be thought out. Honestly, yeah. Usually when I used to make many projects or programs in Python, I used to do that. But when I first started, it's like I don't understand much. But eventually, as I practice more, I understand the concepts, and then I start deeply thinking towards the concept. First, I just try to do it for fun, and then I get a good grasp of it. Okay, I will increase my row. Next up, let's go with a pair of curly braces. I've started learning Python as an absolute beginner. Honestly, good luck with your journey, Zubin. That actually sounds pretty cool. Okay, next up, let's create an inner for loop for my column. So for a pair of parentheses, for every integer of column, okay, which equals to, let's go with 1, I'll go with a check. If my column is less than or equal to my row variable, then I'm going to be incrementing my column by 1 as well. Okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Next up, let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert, let's see, my row multiplied by, so row asterisk column with another insertion operator of, I don't know, a space. Okay, and then let me go ahead and increase my column by, actually I do already increase it, so this is pretty much it. Outside my inner for loop, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and return 0, go with Ctrl S to save the code and run the command. Why don't you use while loop? You just learned that we are practicing the new material. Honestly, yeah, I did like start using nested loops this stream as well, but then Sensei is like way too fast paced. Okay, this is row and columns. This is 369. Okay, I do this stuff. Okay, I feel like I did something correct. I went with the pyramid stuff. Huh. He already did it once, worthwhile. Now he's trying for. Yeah, I usually move back and forth because when I do while loop, I'm in the mindset of while loop, but I don't want to just do that because I'll get used to it or like comfortable with while loop. So I go with like while loop, for loop, while loop, for loop. So my brain can't like adapt to like to do one thing, if that made any sense. Where did you start learning, like app, website, book, or you just practice? Honestly, I've done like 98% only practice questions using ChatGPT. The rest 2% is from YouTube tutorials to like how to install PyCharm. When I first started Python, how to like what an IDE and everything was. Bro, I'm weak in these kinds of programs. What should I do? Guys, my laptop just went off. There we go. Bro, I'm weak in these kinds of programs. What should I do? My foundations are clear. Honestly, I just recommend practicing more and more questions, because the more questions you do, the better you get. Once you understand functions, arrays, and pointers, I recommend making something fun like a game. I think Raylib works in CPP, so you could apply your knowledge in there. That actually sounds pretty good. I might look into that after this. Okay, although what am I doing wrong here? Okay, so for every integer in row which equals to 1, these increases my columns by 1. What if I did have a column here? Okay, let's go with Ctrl S to save, and if I were to run the command, okay, there's like a lot of, okay, I see. Let's go with Ctrl Z. I'm running a similar bootcamp on Claude. I work really hard practicing, but then I forget the logic even after I do spaced repetitions. I don't know how I must improve my muscle memory. Honestly, I'd say like in that, like usually when I do a lot of practice questions, I keep doing it. That's how I remember it. Is there like, I should like think of different ways like different people actually understand stuff, because the way I actually understood me understanding stuff was by repetition, but I think different people might have different ways they actually learn. Like even for my college stuff, I mostly memorize all my content because I feel like I'm pretty good at memorizing stuff. That's it. Let me say I feel like I messed up. I would honestly recommend to like keep working on one thing, that eventually you'll get to know what you like the most, or which learning or what helps you learn the fastest, guys. I cannot phrase it. Okay, make a function that takes 3 strings and searches the second string within the first string and replaces that with the third string and returns the final string. The challenge is no built-in function. Sounds easy, but it's really hard. Honestly, it sounds pretty fun to do, actually. Vivek, I see what you did. You almost got it. Your output is right now. The logic row multiplied by column is correct, but your inner loop limit is wrong. Okay, I think this part is wrong. While my row is less than or equal to 5. Okay, if column is less than or equal to 5, I went with row which increases by 1. Okay, inner loop always 1 to 5. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I think the reason it showed that was, okay, this does make sense. If I like have this to 5. Now, my row is going to be 5. I'll have 5 rows and 5 columns as well. Let me try this real quick. Yo, bro, what you doing today or tonight, depending on time zone? Honestly, it is like 1:59 p.m. It's like, guys, I just started streaming like a while ago. That said, I am mastering basics in C++. Let's see. What you're doing wrong is you're creating a triangle by setting your a conditional to column less than or equal to row instead of column less than or equal to 5. Oh, I see. Okay, this makes more sense, honestly. I do want to do more practice questions. Okay, let me paste this. Okay, let's see another practice question. Okay, yes, very perfect. This is exactly the 5 times 5 multiplication table you just supposed to print. Okay, outer loop, rows, inner loop, columns, products printed perfectly. Now you've mastered while loops, for loops, nested loops, and combining logic. Next level, let's push number triangle with if. Okay, instructions: print 1 to 10 using a while loop, but if the number is divisible by 2, print even. If divisible by 3, print 3. Otherwise, print the number. All on the same line, separated by spaces. Okay, so on the same line. This will combine while loops plus conditional logic in a stream-proof challenge. Okay, let me get sensei/ChatGPT there. Alright, that shouldn't be that hard because I do understand the concept of triangles now. So let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. There we go, maybe zoom in a bit. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then let's read the instructions. Print numbers 1 to 10 using a while loop. Okay, so let's go with something like numbers here. I'll go with integer numbers. Do a diamond pattern before moving on. Diamond pattern. Is that like, guys, I actually need to check how does a diamond pattern even look like. Okay, so I'll go with integer numbers. Okay, and then let me go ahead and set that equal to something like 10. I could honestly set that. I think 10 is pretty good. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and add a while loop. So while a pair of parentheses, while my numbers is less than or equal to 10, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and do something. I could go with a standard console output, but instead, let me go ahead and add a for loop here. Okay, so I could go with something like a row. Okay, this could be row. I think I get what you're suggesting. Practice something thoroughly until I absolutely embed into my natural thought process, like going to the gym and knowing which muscle to work out and how. Honestly, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Although I feel different people have different ways to actually understand. Some people understand by just raw practice and repetition. That's how I understand. Other people understand. It's like there are different ways. Like I prefer just doing a lot of questions. Eventually, you'll understand the way you understand the best, because I cannot phrase. Okay, so I'll go with a for loop. For every column, for every integer of column which equals to 1, I'll go with a semicolon, and then let's see. Let's go with something like if my column is less than or equal to, was it 5? I gotta print it in the same line. Print numbers 1 to 10 using a while loop. But if the number is divisible by 2, print even. Okay, I gotta print it in the same line, so I might not need rows, because this is not like a triangle figure. Okay, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, this is going to be saying something like, this is going to be my row, honestly. Okay, this is going to be my row, which is going to be separated by an empty space. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, I could add that inside of a if statement. If you initialize the variable with 10, then do a while 10 is less than while less than or equal to 10. It's never gonna work because 10 is already the last value of the while. Oh, I see. Okay. So I mean, I could, is 10 like exclusive? Should I change that to 11? Should row be initialized value 0? I mean, I feel both are exactly the same if you do it, because if I go with 0, then I could go if my row is greater than or equal to 10. There we go. And then later, when I'm going to increment stuff, I'm going to be increasing my rows by 1. In the other hand, if my row is set to 0, I mean, if it's set to 10, I'll just decrease it by 1. So if it's set to 0, I'll just change this to if my row is less than or equal to 10. Also, rather than learning multiple languages, try to get really good at one language first. For instance, in CPP, learning a game dev framework and a web dev framework knowledge translates. Honestly, yeah, before I like stick to one language, I do want to explore all the languages and see which I enjoy the most. If I enjoy a language more than the other, I'll eventually stick to that. Okay, let's go with the if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, okay, let's see. If my row modulus 2 equals to 0, so if a number is divisible by 0, print even. Okay, I'll go with an insertion operator of a standard console output with an insertion operator of even, okay, which is going to be separated by a space. Okay, if divisible by 3, print 3. Okay, let's go with another else if, or just create an else if with a pair of parentheses. Bro, row will never be greater than 10. Row will never be greater than 10. Yeah, I honestly feel like I want the row to be equal to 10. Like, I don't want it to be more than 10. Okay, let's go with an else clause, because once my row is equal to 10, I want the while loop to stop. Okay, let's go with an else clause. Trust me, your row comparison is wrong. Think about it for a bit. Honestly, I feel like, okay, if it's like wrong, I do want to like go through the code, and like if I get an error, then I'll try like adding few modifications here. Okay, let's go with else if. Else if my row modulus 3 equals to 0, I'll go with an insertion operator of a standard console output. Here's the thing, when setting loop conditions, identify the direction of change. Are you climbing or descending? And then you can write the correct condition. Oh, I see, that actually makes sense. Yo, how are you doing, Hypertech? I appreciate you joining this stream. You want to start row at 0. Row at 0. Okay, so if my row is 0, while my row is less than or equal to 10. Oh, I see. Okay. In that case, like if my row was 10 and I change this to greater than, while my row is greater than or... Oh, okay, I see, that actually does make sense now. So if my row is set to 0, I go with while my row variable, if it's less than or equal to 10, which it currently is less than 10, then I go through this condition. Okay, that makes so much sense. Bro, I appreciate you, Ankit, and like, is it Awesome? Is that how you pronounce the name? Alright, that's fine too. Learning by failing helps too. Honestly, yeah, I do go with this thing. Like, I heard like a pretty good quote online. I don't know who it is for, guys. I'm not plagiarizing the quote. It said that fail stands for like first attempt at learning. So like, that's the reason I always like failing. With that said, let's go with a standard console output. I want to print something like 3. There we go. Then another insertion operator of a space. Okay, otherwise print the number itself. Okay, let's go with an else clause. Else, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of my number itself, which is my row. There we go. Okay, standard console output of row with another insertion operator to the Awesome. Oh, Awesome, that sounds pretty... Okay, that actually sounds pretty nice. Yep, that's how you pronounce IY. Okay, yeah, guys, because I'm usually pretty precautious with pronouncing names, because like sometimes if you pronounce somebody's name wrong, they like start lashing out. They're like, you should pronounce the name correct. So I try pronouncing the name right. So I try to pronounce the name correct every time. That said, all the numbers on one line separated by a space. So every number is separated by a space. Now all I gotta do is increase my row by 1 outside my if and else clause. So I'll go with my row plus plus. There we go. Don't forget to end line in CPP. End line, return 0. Okay, next up, actually I should end the line as well. So let me go ahead and add something like a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, if I would hit Control S and run the code, okay, it prints 1, prints 1, 3 even. Okay, that's actually perfect, but I didn't actually want to go with a new line. Okay, let's save that. No, because it has to be in one line. You only end line at the last number after the loop. Oh, okay, so after the while loop, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of, let's say, / new line. Okay, if I Control S and run the command, that's dumb. New lines are more readable. Honestly, yeah, I think this is like a new line. There we go. Okay, let's go with a Control C, copy that, gets it here, paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, so let's say dot. I honestly don't take credit for this question because my chat helped me. Dot. Okay, let me just hydrate my lips real quick. It's kind of dried. Okay, Vivek, I don't care who helped you. This is still you. This is still your hands on the keyboard and you nailed it. Output, even wanted it. Logic is perfect. While loop counts numbers, if/else checks, output on the same line. Tiny note for mastery. You started row equals to 0, which is okay, but usually we start at 1 for numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, I see. Excuse me, guys. Otherwise, clean, stream-proof, and deadly. Next drill. Let's push nested while loops plus if/else instructions. Printed triangle of numbers 1 to 5. Okay, like this using a nested while loop, but if the number is divisible by 2, print even, otherwise print the number. Each row should have a number from 1 to that row. Okay, I think I know how to do this. I think I understand this, guys. That question was to be on one line. Do lead code, bro. Honestly, I'm really excited to start lead code. Many people have been recommending that to me. Maybe after my 250 series of programming, I am going to be starting another series/playlist where I'm going to be grinding lead code. That I'm actually looking forward to that. That sounds pretty fun. Okay, let's go with the controller. Delete this whole thing. You could just use ternary, is that how I pronounce it? A ternary operator, standard console output with an insertion operator, row modulus 3. Oh wait, is that like a ternary operator or like a conditional expression in Python? Okay, actually that does make sense, a ternary operator. I didn't know we could use that in Python, and I've never seen the question mark sign in like C++ as well. What's gonna happen with AI and software developers? Like a real question. Let him learn with E syntax first, though. Honestly, many people do say that there's no point learning programming because, because AIs are eventually going to take over programming. But the way I think it is like we always need someone to like program or make AIs. Although AIs do make themselves these days. That said, they do have limits as well. So like, if we stop programming, then eventually AIs are just going to be handling everything, and we can't fix AIs. But I think learning programming is still really helpful when it comes to actually building stuff yourself, because AI still make like a lot of mistakes. Lead code needs someone who knows a lot of algorithms, not just programming. Just keep learning. Whatever will happen no matter what. Software devs won't ever be replaced. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. Although I was planning to be in cybersecurity. That said, let me start off by including IO stream. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what I want to be just yet. I do want to explore different parts and then like different concepts. Is that how we pronounce it or say it? Okay, so let me start off by typecasting my main function to be an integer. Right, but I think in like 10 years, coding that used to take 1 week now takes 3 years. 3 days. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense because people usually wipe code, and I'm not saying it's bad to wipe code or anything. Like, if people could like they just ask like AIs for like block of codes or like a code segment and like add that in their program, people could do that. It's like not wrong, but then I don't prefer doing that, because if I get a code from AI, I do want to understand what it means before I actually implement it inside of my actual program, or it just feels kind of weird. Brother, AI isn't a god, it's a tool. Don't fall to the popular myths. I'm just asking, don't get hot. Honestly, yeah. When I was writing my Python, let me just start coding too while I do this. Let me go ahead and type an integer count function, which is going to be equal to 5. Okay, when I started my Python, that time, like, AIs can be a real great tool for like learning on how to program, but eventually once the once the code lines gets about like 5,000 lines or like 450 lines, they do make a lot of errors, and then it gets hard to like fix those errors. But if you actually have a good understanding of the code, then you could like easily fix the errors. Not easily, but like you could fix it. I truly wish you the best, really the best of luck. I appreciate you, Kevin. You guys are very smart. I don't believe AI will replace engineers. It's still so stupid. Honestly, for now, AIs make a lot of mistakes. Eventually, in the future, we do need smarter people to like make smarter AIs. Do you know how pattern printing in C works? It's quite similar to what you just did now. Honestly, I didn't like start C till now. Okay, Vivek, you don't need to know enough about this topic to comment on it, to be honest. I'm telling you, it's just a tool, don't worry. Honestly, yeah, I do need more experience. Like, whatever I say, guys, you guys could, like, fact check me, because I'm not that sure, because I just started programming, like, 114 days ago. That said, in a way, it works out, because faulty, non-optimized AI code will be more present, more vulnerabilities, more issues within code, more reasons to have someone to actually review it. Bro, work with pointers. Honestly, I do want to work with pointers. That's how I've been getting really distracted, guys. Let's go ahead and read the instructions. Print a triangle of numbers 1 to 5 like this using nested while loops. Okay, so let's print the numbers through 5. To do that, I could go with a while loop. So let me go ahead and add a while, pair of parentheses. Okay, and then maybe drink some coffee. Guys, I should honestly decrease drinking coffee. That said, let's go with a while loop. While my count variable is less than or equal to 5, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then, okay, it says put a triangle to a number like this using nested while loops. So we use nested while loops. So inside this while loop, I could add another while loop. So while my count variable is okay, instead of count variable, let's go ahead and change this to row, since I am going with a triangle. So I'll go with row. Then let's go with an integer of column, which is going to be equal to something like, let's see. This is going to be 1 as well. This is going to be 1, honestly. Okay, let me change my row to be 1 as well, honestly. There we go. Okay, while my column variable, while my column is less than or equal to my row variable, okay, AI is made for mathematical functions to predict actions based on previous data. It lacks creativity, no need to worry. Honestly, yeah. Okay, let's go with row. Okay, then I'll add a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. So, if the number is divisible by 2, print even, otherwise print the number. So instead of just a standard console output, I could go with a if statement. If a pair of parentheses. Okay, so if the number, okay, so my number is going to be my column. So if my column modulus 2 equals to 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Then if AI feeds on my data, then we probably don't have anything to worry about. Okay, guys, okay, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of something. Let's see. I'll go with something like even. Okay, with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon, and then each row should have numbers from 1 up to that row. Okay, I see. So basically, I do that. Let's go with an else clause. Else, a pair of curly braces, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my column that is separated by an empty space. Okay, and then outside of my while loop, I'm pretty sure, okay. I think this should be inside my inner while loop where I increase my columns. Okay, so maybe... okay, honestly, yeah, I think... let me go ahead outside my while loop. Let's go with column plus plus. And then outside my outer while loop, I'll go with my row plus plus. Okay, that's integer. Actually, let me remove that from here real quick. I gotta add that here. So row plus plus. Howdy Ojo, I appreciate you joining this stream. Bro, using namespace standard instead of standard colon before every console output statement. Honestly, the reason I do that is to eventually avoid name conflicts when I'm working on bigger projects. I'm building it's like a good practice to actually add standard console output. When I code in C, I don't use pointers or malloc. Is that how I pronounce it? I just spam arrays. Okay, then he'll not be able to use any other namespace in the same class. Okay, let's see. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Return 0. Okay, if I hit Control S, save the code and run the command. Let's see. Isn't it anything but a good practice? Okay, so it says 1 even. Okay, I do need to go in a new line as well. So let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. There we go. Okay, now if I hit Control S, save the code and run the command. Do you know you can? Adding using namespace is like a good practice. Is it? Like so many people say it's like a bad practice to add using namespace, because that actually adds like name conflicts. Hashtag define print x, which is with an insertion operator. Oh, I actually, honestly, I did. Someone did say that to me last stream. I should actually try that. Like, I can define print x. I didn't know we could use print in C++ though. Yes, very perfect output. Outer while loop controls rows, inner while loop controls column. If statement correctly prints even for divisible by 2. You just combine nested loops plus conditional logic like a pro. Next level. Let's really crush this. Instructions. Use nested for loops to print this multiplication table with conditions 1 times 1, 2, 5 times 5. Okay. If the product is divisible by 3, print fizz. If the if divisible by 5, print buzz. Otherwise, keep the number. Keep the table rows and columns aligned. Example rough. 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz. 2, 4, fizz, 8, buzz, fizz, 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 fizz. Okay, I think I understand this. I think I understand what this means. Hold up. Namespace bad? Yes, you can. Namespace is so good, lol. Who said it's bad? Need to learn more. Honestly, I wouldn't say namespace is bad. I'll just say like it's not that good of a practice to like start off like learning it as a complete beginner, because when we move on to like bigger projects, it's like we would like other additional libraries might have the console outputs to it. So like we would have to use standard console output for the C++ ones, if that made any sense. It depends. In industry, it's like less likely to use C++. Mostly you use C++ for DSA, hence always using namespace standard. Oh, I see. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream, of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, and then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. You'll never do bigger projects in C++, don't we? We don't have a print in CPP, but we do have like 10 ways to do anything in CPP. Don't worry about that. Basically, what we're doing is making a function called print. Oh, I see. Bro, if the program works, leave it alone, lol. Everyone has different flows. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, because I have like so many people, they're like saying me to do one thing and like others say me to do the other thing. I'm like so confused. Try include bits slash stdc ++ h. What does that honestly do? Let me go with include. Okay, so hashtag include pair of ankle braces. Let's go with bits / stdc ++ .h. Okay, I feel like I typed it wrong. I should like ask Sensei what that means. Okay, with that said, what is my instructions? Let's read it. So use a nested for loop to print the function, to print this multiplication function table with conditions. So 1 by 1 to 5 by 5. Okay, if the product is divisible by 3, print fizz. Okay, so for that, let's create a for loop. Bro, I'm having a problem in pointers with 2D arrays and 3D arrays. Honestly, I should like start working with arrays. I've worked in Google both in C++ and Java, and no use completely different namespace which are internally made. Oh, I see. Yeah, let's all agree to let him do what he wants. Don't tell him what to complex stuff he doesn't need to know right now. Honestly, yeah, guys. Okay, let's see. I'll go with a for loop, a pair of parentheses. I agree with Alec. Just learn for now. Do whatever is easier. The only good practice you should do, or you should worry about, is readability. Honestly, yeah, I should like start adding like comments as well. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and create an integer variable. Okay, this is going to be called sum. Okay, with my integer is going to be starting by 1. Actually it's going to be equal to 1, and then I'll check something. If my sum variable is less than or equal to 5, okay, I'll go with something like sum plus plus. I'll increase my sum by 1. Outside my for loop, I'll go to a pair of curly braces. Okay, next up, I'll add an inner for loop. My outer for loop, excuse me guys, is going to be for rows. Inner for loop is going to be for columns. Honestly, I could change this to row. Okay, let's just change them to row for readability. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of parentheses, inner pointer variable. Vivek, do you have a Discord server? Honestly, I do. To like join the Discord, you guys can like type #Discord. Let me know if the link works. Because like many people do say me the link is expired. Even though I went to Discord and I'm like, this link doesn't expire. Okay, next up, I'll create an integer of column which is going to be equal to, let's say, 1. What's the task? So the task is, I gotta use a nested for loop to print the, let me just show you guys. There we go. I gotta use a nested for loop to print this multiplication table with conditions. So 1 times 1, 2, 5 times 5. If the product is divisible by 3, I print fizz. If it's divisible by 5, I print buzz. Otherwise, I keep the number. And then I keep the table, rows, and columns aligned. So it's something like this. Okay, web dev internal pointer variables. Jump scare. I can't copy the link. Can't copy the link. Honestly, I think you should just like click on the link. I could like, whatchamacallit. I feel like the link is in the description as well. Yep, readability comes first, especially when learning the main syntax. Otherwise, you could just be prone to a lot of misconceptions in long term. That does make sense. What if it is divisible by both 3 and 5? I think then we print FizzBuzz. Nope, I'm 14. Do you know more than most people my age? Though still very inexperienced. The link on your page doesn't work, by the way. Guys, is the link expired? Many people say me that, like, on my Discord server, like, I do go to, like, invite to channel. I did change that to, like, never expire. Okay, let me copy paste the link real quick. Okay, let me go there. Okay guys, this link should work. Let me just paste it real quick. There we go. Okay guys, that link should like definitely work. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and add a column. So my column is going to be starting by 1 as well. And then let's go ahead and add row, which is going to be less than or equal to. Actually, if my column is less than or equal to 5, I'm going to be adding a semicolon and incrementing my column by 1. Okay, and honestly, let me just go ahead and spin that so like everybody could see it. Okay, perfect. I think my for loop works perfectly. Let me go ahead and create a, let's see, a if statement inside of my for loop. 2011 May for me. Don't listen to any noob here. Try to check out other coders. What do you know about programming? Yeah, I know web dev. Alright guys, I've been getting real distracted. Let me drink some coffee and then lock in. Okay, let's go with an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, let's check something. So if my column multiplied by my row modulus 2, actually modulus 3 equals to 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then I'm going to be printing fizz. Let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be printing fizz. Okay, there we go. I'll end that with a semicolon. And then let's add another else if. So I'll go with a else if, pair of parentheses. Let's go with something like if divisible by 5, print buzz. Okay, I'll go with if my column multiplied by my row modulus 5 equals to 0. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be printing buzz. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon, and then honestly, I could like go with the empty space as well. Let's go ahead and add an empty space. Logic building and programming. Okay, next up, let's add another else if. So I'll go with else if my column multiplied by my row modulus 2, actually modulus 3 equals to 0. Okay, and I'll go with and my column multiplied by my row modulus let's see, modulus 5 equals to 0. If both these conditions are true, I'm going to be going with a standard console output with an insertion operator that prints something like FizzBuzz. Okay, this wasn't said in the instruction, but I think it's a pretty good thing to do. Okay, there we go. Let's go with an else clause now. I'll go with something like else, a pair of curly braces. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of just my column multiplied by my row. Okay, I'll add an insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, perfect. That's honestly pretty much it. I gotta add everything in one line. This is my if statement, that's my inner for loop. So I could go right here outside my inner for loop and just something like a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, by the way, this is just a random account I created for a phone. What's your Discord? Okay, and then let me go ahead and return 0. Perfect. If I would hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command. Okay, it prints 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, 2, 4, fizz, 8, buzz, fizz, 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 4, 8, fizz, 16, buzz, fizz, buzz, fizz, buzz, buzz. Okay, let's go with a Control A, Control C, copy that, get /ChatGPT here. I don't use Discord now, find a use for it. Reddit is all I need. Okay, let me paste it and send it. Wait, don't add a blank space between else statements. Oh, I thought people do that for like readability. Was it just me? I thought that people usually add spaces because it looks good and more readable. I think I was wrong, guys. There, that looks good as well. Okay, let's see, Vivek, I see what you did, but you made a classic FizzBuzz logic mistake. Look at your if/else if order. If my column multiplied by my row modulus 3 equals to 0 triggers first. Else if column multiplied by row modulus 5 equals to 0, that I'm assuming triggers first as well. Never reaches. Oh, I see. So I think this should come first. The FizzBuzz condition never runs because any number divisible by 3 triggers first. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, so first I gotta add this statement. Integer prod equals to row multiplied by column. Excuse me, guys. Okay, is that how I pronounce it, prod? Huh. Okay, now FizzBuzz will actually print. Okay, I see. As for initially, I asked you initially, what if it's divisible by both 3 and 5? Honestly, for that, I thought we could just go with FizzBuzz, but I think they need to add the FizzBuzz condition before my regular conditions here. Okay, so I could honestly just copy the condition. Okay, maybe, and guys, here comes the stream lag again. No, guys, I can't wait to get that PC because I actually need to even learn on how to whatchamacallit, build a PC because already mic testing, mic testing. Guys, my OBS just lagged. I mean, my OBS just crashed. I need to do something about my OBS, guys. I apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, let me actually add FizzBuzz here. So FizzBuzz. There we go. Now if I go with the Control S and run the command. Okay, there we go. We have a FizzBuzz here. Perfect, it works. Let's go with the Control A, Control C. Okay, let's get ChatGPT /Sensei here. Okay, now let me paste it. I always use Discord. Honestly, guys, I used to be a huge Discord addict, like spending 10 hours a day on Discord. I'm glad I moved on. I'm glad I moved on to programming from that. That said, yes, Vivek, this is perfect stream proof. FizzBuzz multiplication table. Check fizz, buzz first, then buzz, then fizz, else prints the number. Nested loops fully controlled, output You just mastered nested loops conditionals plus multiplication logic. Vivek, now you're ready for nested while loops plus conditionals plus fizz buzz, the final test before I let you rest. Guys, I don't think I need to rest. Say yes, let's say he's just kind of bullying him in my opinion. I already told you. Guys, don't bully anyone. Is the lag from the stream that didn't see our message? Oh, I see. Yeah, guys, I need to like get it. It's probably just my device, like my mini PC, because before it used to work pretty much nicely. I feel these days it's OBS is way too hard on my CPU. Bro, not even a good programmer. Ta-ta-ta. Okay, bro, not every good programmer is a good programming teacher. Honestly, I do want to start teaching as well, but for that I gotta learn my basics. I did make a print statements tutorial. I will move on to like variables, but I'm teaching Python for now because I am pretty fluent in Python. Said yes, I know, very inexperienced, but for me it was always better to build the mental habit first. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. Bro, I teach DSA to industry people. Search my name. I take sessions. Oh, that actually sounds pretty good. Okay, alright Vivek, listen up. This is the final loop master challenge. Task: use nested while loops to print numbers from 1 to 5 in rows like this. Outer while loop controls rows, inner while loop controls columns. Multiply row times column. If divisible by 3, print fizz. If divisible by 5, print buzz. If divisible by both 3 and 5, print fizz buzz. Else print the number. Keep everything aligned like a table. Okay, example output. Okay, roughly. Okay, outer while loop, inner while loop. So this time we use a while loop inside of a while loop. Okay, I think I might be ready for this question, guys. Let's go with the controller, delete the whole thing. Also, Vivek muted, or am I muted? Guys, can you guys hear me? Am I muted? Let me check it as well. Oh, I feel like
let's see.
I feel I'm not muted, guys. There were many good observations. He skipped. Who is arguing? Guys, don't argue. Okay, so let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll go ahead and include IO stream. Rough ankle braces. IO stream. Okay, he can hear you. You aren't muted. Okay, guys, I was like whatchamacallit? I forgot what's called. I got concerned for a second because I'm like, usually I do like watch my old streams, like create shorts and everything. Maybe after my exams I'll start posting shorts again. So I do need my streams voiced for that. Bro, you can have fun with maths. Honestly, maths is pretty fun. Okay, next up, I'll go ahead and add an integer main. I'll typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and create a variable. So it says use a while loop to print numbers from 1 to 5 in rows like this. Outer while loop controls rows, inner while loop controls columns. So let me go ahead and create a integer row variable which is going to be equal to 1 because I do want to start at 1. And then let's go ahead and add a while loop. So I could beat Einstein in a debate, but I can't beat an idiot. Guys, I actually kind of relate with that. Let me make some coffee. Try something like same task. If divisible by 2, print fizz. If divisible by 3, print buzz. If divisible by 5, print this. I made a new task. Try to solve this. Honestly, yeah. Okay, let me actually solve that. I was actually doing the same concept of question but using while loops because before I did with for loops. But let's try that. So try something like this. If divisible by 2, print fizz. So I could go with something like if my row is less than or equal to, let's say 5. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then add an inner while loop. My inner while loop is going to be for my column. So let's go ahead and add a integer variable of column, which is going to be set to, let's say something like 1 as well. Okay, why did you get into programming, by the way, Vivek? Honestly, because I honestly don't know why I got into programming. Because honestly, I did want to be like an AI engineer to start off with, but later I was confused between AI engineering and cybersecurity. I'm pretty confused. I do like programming or like making stuff and like even teaching people in general. That said, for that I need to learn my basics, and I thought that since I do like spending a lot of time like making stuff, might as well like program. I think that's why I started. Okay, so my inner while loop is going to be column which is less than or equal to 5. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Let's see. I could go with a standard console output with an insertion operator now. Okay, so multiply row multiplied by column. Okay, so I gotta get my row times column as well. To do that, I could honestly go with something like integer result variable, okay, which equals to my row variable multiplied by my column variable. There we go. And then I could like end that with a semicolon and then add a standard console output. Before that, let's go ahead and add an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, if my let's say if my result variable modulus 2, actually, if my result variable modulus 3 equals to 0, and my result variable modulus 5 equals to 0 as well. Okay, if both of them equals to 0, I'll do something. Cool. You're on the right track. Just don't both with learning every language. Move on, make some projects. You have applications knowledge. Honestly, yeah, I was actually trying to do that. That actually sounds pretty cool. I do want to like make a lot of projects, then move on like once I'm pretty fluent with one language. But then eventually, I do want to get to one of those languages that I've already learned to like stick and be as my main language. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, have you done any programming? He's a kid. Why do you want him to move to any projects? Honestly, I do like many projects. Okay, so I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert, let's see, something like FizzBuzz. Or actually, I'll go with something like this. There we go. With another insertion operator of an empty space. And then let's go ahead and add an else if statement. So I'll go with else if. So else if a pair of parentheses, else if my result variable modulus 3 equals to 0. Bro, don't listen to people. Study basics of language, study math. Honestly, I do like prefer being real good with my basics first before I move on to something else. When you feel like you're ready, try to do 3 string problems. Only if you feel like it though. Fair warning, it might take entire stream. Honestly, in that case, I might have a whole separate stream on that. Okay, next up, let me add an if statement here. Else if my result modulus 3 equals to 0, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator that is going to be saying something like, I don't know, let's go with something like fizz with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, next up, let's go with another else if my result variable modulus 5, my result modulus 5 equals to 0, I'll do something else. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like buzz, which is going to be separated by a space. Okay, lastly, I'll go with an else clause. Honestly, I should stop leaving spaces. Okay, let's go with an else clause. Else a pair of curly braces, I'll add something like a standard console output. With an insertion operator, I'm going to be inserting my result, which is going to be separated by a space as well. And now to increase my rows and my columns, let's see. Outside my inner while loop, I'll go with my column, which is going to increase by 1. And then outside of my initial while loop, my outer while loop, let's go ahead and add or increase my row by 1 as well. Okay, and then let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, you missed many conditions where number is divisible by 2 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 5, 2 multiplied by 5, 2 times 3 times 5. Did I? Okay, it says 1, 2, Okay, let me actually, whatchamacallit. Before I increment my rows by 1, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. Okay, now if I Control S and run the command, it should be like, there we go. Okay, that's actually perfect. Okay, let's go with a Control C, copy that, do /ChatGPT here. Let me paste it and send it. Guys, I should actually stop drinking much coffee. Vivek, Vivek, you crushed it, but I see a little glitch. Look at your disk. That should be FizzBuzz for divisible by both 3 and 5. Change this. Everything else is perfect. Okay. I just did that because like someone in the stream said me to like use disk instead. Although I feel like it's the same thing. Guys, I don't want my stream to lag again. It started lagging again. Let's go with FizzBuzz. You need to do same year in original task you printed FizzBuzz when it's divisible by 3 and 5, right? You need to do the same year. I did check if my result is if my result modulus 3. You need to take combinations for all 2, 3 and 5. I need to take combinations for all 3. Huh. I mean, for the FizzBuzz, I did check if like whatchamacallit, if my result if my integer of result which is equal to my row multiplied by my column, if that modulus 3 equals to 0, means if my result is either 0 or if my number is either divisible by 3 or by 5, I print FizzBuzz. I think I actually did that part. Okay, with 2, 3 and 5, did I miss something? Okay, let me paste it. Guys, I hope my OBS didn't laggy, and let me just check that real quick. Okay, it is lagging a little, but it didn't crash yet. Yes, you crushed it. You crushed the final nested while loop FizzBuzz challenge. Outer while loop controls flow, inner while loop controls column, multiplication logic perfect, fizz/buzz/FizzBuzz condition works perfectly. Now you're officially a nested loop master. I still need more practice, guys. Every loop type, nested combinations, conditionals, and multiplication logic, own it. Stream proof, level unlocked. You can now crush any nested loop challenge. Okay, let me just say, I feel like I need more practice. See, Vivek, you're learning ICM here. Have you learned about ICM? Honestly, I've never heard of ICM. What does that mean? I should actually check. Okay, that's what I like to hear. You're not here to be a casual coder, but here to smash loops into submission. Let's do this 10 stream proof practice challenge on while loops, for loops, and nested loops. We'll start easy and gradually take them wild. Challenge 1 instruction. Print numbers 1 to 20 using a while loop. There we go, guys. The lag is gone. Okay, print the numbers 1 to 20 using a while loop, but if divisible by 4, print quad. Otherwise, print the number. All numbers separated by a space. Okay, I feel now this is getting a little easy. I should like go on with harder questions. LCM. Okay, I think I've heard of LCM. Is it like lowest common factor? I haven't practiced, guys. I should work more on math. Okay, least common multiple. Oh, I see. Okay, guys, I should practice more on math. I'm actually kind of bad at math. Okay, let me go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, there we go. Let me fix my include spelling. Learn about GCD. Okay, I'm pretty sure GCD is greatest common. Let me actually check, guys. What's the full form of GCD? I do remember learning this, but I forgot what it was. Okay, greatest common divisor. Oh, I see. Okay, I should honestly learn about them. Okay, next up, let me start off by typecasting my main function to be an integer. A pair of curly braces, and then let me go ahead. Let's see, print all numbers. So I could go ahead and print a number. What's up? How are you doing, CPL? I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, try hashtag include a pair of ankle braces bit/stdc++.h. I honestly tried that. It showed me like in red arrow mark. How do you go, Taku-verse? I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, so it says print a number 1 to 20 using a while loop. So let's go with an integer of a number variable, which is going to be equal to something like, let's go with 1. Okay, and then add a while loop. Don't use IOStream. You don't need many libraries. Don't use IOStream. Honestly, I might go through like a different stream where I learn about different libraries. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and add a while loop. So while a pair of parentheses. Okay, let's see. So while my number variable is less than or equal to 20, okay, which it currently is less than 20, I'll do something. I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my number variable, which is going to be separated by a space. Although this could go inside of an if statement. Let me copy that. Add if a pair of parentheses. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so that's a while loop. Okay, so if my number modulus 2 if my number modulus 2 equals to 0, okay, that means the number is actually, I gotta check if it's divisible by 4. So if my number modulus 4 equals to 0, I'll go and add a pair of curly braces, go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is gonna say something like quad. There we go, with another insertion operator of an empty space. You're the most honest man on earth with all these honesties. Guys, that caught me off guard. Honestly, I should like stop saying honest. I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay, let's see here. Are you coding on Mac? Honestly, I'm coding on Windows. I want to actually try Mac. I did try Mac, but it felt a little hard. Try to copy this content in Blitz folder in stdc++.h file in same location. I should actually watch some YouTube tutorials on that. Okay, otherwise print the numbers. So let's go with an else clause. Let's go with else, a pair of curly braces. Let's add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my number variable with another insertion operator of an empty space that ends with a semicolon. And then let me go ahead and increase. Let me just remove this space from here. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and increase or increment my number variable by 1. There we go. Then use include bit/stdc++.h. Honestly, after my stream, once I'm done with my some college work, because I had a lot of homework yesterday. I still didn't complete my college homework today as well. So I will be working on that. After that, if I have any time, then I will be like watching a few YouTube tutorials on that, because I do have college tomorrow, guys. Okay, let's see. All numbers separated by spaces. So all numbers are separated by spaces. And then I think that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and return 0 real quick. So return 0. Okay, if I would hit Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, it says number quad. Okay, should it be on new line? It says all numbers separated by space. So I think this is what sensei/ChatGPT meant. Wait, hold up. There we go. Let's go with the Control S now. Okay. Wait, let me just start a new fresh terminal. Okay, 1, 2, 3 quad, 5, 6, 7 quad, 9, 10, 11 quad, 13, 14, 15 quad, 17, 18, 19 quad. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the Control-A, Control-C. Just create a new folder named Blitz. Guys, I should actually look how to create a folder. Like, I know how to create like a folder on my desktop. Is that the same as creating a folder on like C++? There is no tutorial. This is my technique. I use competitive coding. Oh, I see. Okay, yes, with a perfect stream-proof output, while loop mastery, conditional checks, space separated output, you're smashing these like a true loop warrior. Challenge number 2, level up. Use a for loop to print all odd numbers from 1 to 20. For odd numbers, print odd. For even numbers, print the number. All numbers separated by space. Okay. Next up, I honestly might go with like, the vector functions, because I do need to review that as well. So try it now while I'm online. Honestly, I do need some research on that, because like I tried it last time, like off stream. It was like, it went kind of wrong, guys. Okay, let me start off by including IO stream, but after the stream, I'll definitely look into that. Okay, and then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer, and then add a pair of curly braces. Okay, next up, it says use a for loop to print all odd numbers from 1 to 25. Okay, so use a for loop. So let me go ahead and create a for loop. So for a pair of parentheses, maybe lowercase for. Okay, for a pair of parentheses for the integer of number which equals to 25, because I need 25 numbers. Honestly, I'll change that to 1. Okay, if my number is either less than or equal to 25, I'm going to be doing something. Yes, you create a folder in the same folder which you have this main CPP file. Honestly, guys, I actually don't know where to have my C++ file as well, because someone from the stream, you guys were helping me so much. I didn't even understand what I was doing. You guys were just saying me to randomly type few codes and like press buttons. So I do need to like work more on that. Okay, with that said, for odd numbers, my number does increase by 1. Okay, Okay, so let's go with a standard console output. But before that, let me go ahead and add a if statement. So if, let's see, if my number modulus 2 is not equal to 0, if my number is odd, I'm going to be adding a standard console output with an insertion operator that says odd, with another insertion operator of an empty space. Are you trying to give this man a virus? Guys, it's not a virus. Okay, guys, I should learn more. I feel like I'm not much of a tech person, but like when I start doing something, I feel like I'm way too awful at it. Okay, for even numbers, print the number. Okay, all numbers separated by space. Okay, let's go with an else clause. Else a pair of parentheses. Actually, else a pair of curly braces. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to do something. Let's see. I want to display my number with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, that actually seems pretty good. Let me go ahead and return 0. Also talk less while thinking, make your thoughts deep, precise, more thinking long. Honestly, many people do say me to like not talk much, but the reason I actually talk is if I like explain while I'm programming, that helps me like understand much better because I can actually listen to myself. That said, I should try try coding without talking, guys. Okay, so it's odd 2, 4, odd 6, odd 8, odd. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I do want to go with a more complicated topic. This was kind of warm up or like easy stuff. Let's paste that, go with shift enter. Howdy Otaku Wars, I appreciate you joining this stream. Let's say I feel like I got a good grasp of this although I do want to, let's see, okay, although I do want to practice the vector functions as well, Okay, let's go to the vector functions too now. Vivek, I love that hunger. You're clean with loops and conditionals now. That's solid, but vectors? Oh yes, that's where C++ starts flexing its muscles. Let's start simple. Stream proof. Challenge 1, vector basics. Create a standard vector which only consists of integers called numbers. Ask the user to input 5 numbers and push them into a vector. Print all the numbers in reverse order. Okay. How do we print them in reverse order? Vector creation, pushback, size, loop. Excuse me, guys. Okay, let's try it. Let's actually try it. No, I didn't mean that. I meant try to have deep thought before speaking. Oh, I see. I think what you're doing exactly. What you're doing. Vector is not functions, it's like containers. Honestly, I feel like vector is like a container where we add stuff. That said, let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and include vectors. I did like work with vectors like I think 3 streams ago. Okay, so I do have a pretty good idea on how to use the function. I just wanted some review. That said, let's go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Okay, next up, let's create a standard vector. Okay, which consists of only integers. There we go. Okay, this vector is going to be called numbers. I won't be adding any numbers to it. So it says create a standard vector called numbers. Ask the user to input 5 numbers and push them into the vector. To do that, I could go with something like, actually, let me go ahead and create a variable actually called numbers. So integer number, okay, I won't assign that to anything. Next up, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like enter a number. Okay, since I'm going to be asking the user for 5 numbers, I could honestly just go with a while loop. Pause for a moment, listen to what I'm saying. Make a new folder, bits in the location. Go to desktop, go to C++ directory. Honestly, I do want to try that off stream. When you started, honestly, this stream I started like almost 2 hours ago, but in general, I started programming like 114 days ago, or like, let me check how long ago did I start. It's how much ever days my, okay, let's see. Actually, I started programming 115 days ago. There we go. Okay, let's see. Make new folder bits. Honestly, I'll definitely try that after the stream because while the stream, I like to have quality content, guys. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is even considered quality content. I'm just struggling. I'm out of coffee. Okay, so I'll add a while loop. Before that, let's go with an integer count variable. This is going to be equal to 5. And then I'll go with a while loop. While my count is either less than or equal to 5, okay, actually I'll go with greater than. While my count is greater than or equal to 5, I'm going to be doing something. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to be asking something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be saying something like enter a number. How much do you practice in a day? Before my college started, I used to stream like for at least 10 hours a day, like ever since I used to wake up all the way till I headed back to bed. But since I have college right now, I wake up, study for my college, then stream and only code when I stream. And once I'm done streaming, I study more for my college and then head to bed. Okay, after my college, things are going to get much more easier because I'll have more time to practice. That said, enter a number. Okay, there we go. I wouldn't need this extra empty space. Then let's go with a standard console input, this time with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable. Okay, ending with a semicolon. And every time I ask a user for a number and the user enters a number, I'm going to be increasing my count variable or incrementing my count variable by 1. Okay, this actually looks pretty good. Next up, I gotta append these numbers inside of my vector. So I could go with something like my numbers dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back my number. Can you tell me in hours? Honestly, I'd give an average like of maybe 2 to 3 hours a day because I have college right now. Like only I just program while I stream these days. But after my college is over, I'll program even some off stream and like on stream. Usually I prefer programming off stream as well because so I'm not like a complete egg on stream. But guys, I don't have that time right now. Okay, with that said, print all the numbers in reverse order. Ask the user to input numbers. Okay, how do you reverse them now? Okay, let me go ahead and return 0 real quick. There we go. If I were to hit... Okay, let me go with a standard console output. Before that, let me iterate over my containers. So I'll go with something. Okay, pause for a moment. Think while using entry and number. Is it necessary? Honestly, yeah, I feel it is. I mean, it's not like compulsory to add entry and number because this is just like for the user to know what to do because this is just a standard console output. With just regular standard console inputs as well, we could get the variables inside our container, but this is to tell the user what to do. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's go with a for loop now. For every integer of number, or for every integer of num in my vector of numbers, reverse begin numbers, end numbers. Oh, I see. Okay, I can try that. Okay, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator of my num, which is going to be separated by an empty space. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then I could go with a standard new line. So let me add a standard console output with an insertion operator of a / new line. But you're learning yourself, it's a waste of time. Honestly, I feel like if I learn by myself, then I understand much better because I did have people sometimes teach me. I feel like I do much better when I learn on my own. Okay, although I do appreciate all the help people give me, I actually do use them. Okay, let's see. While loop. Okay, let me go with the Control S to save the code and run the command. Enter a number. I'll go with something like 12, 13, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, enter a number. It says 8. It keeps asking for a number. Should I go with a break? It should automatically break while my number is less than or equal to 5. I think that would make sense. While my count should initially be 1 while my count is less than or equal to 5. Okay, let's go with the Control S now. While count is greater than or equal to 5 is wrong. Honestly, yeah, I usually get an error and then I figure out, whoops, I made a mistake. There we go. Enter number 78. Okay. Alright, so in my for loop, I go with my num. This is going to be all my individual numbers. Okay, wait, let me run the command again. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it just prints that one number inside of my loop. I go with numbers.pushback number. Maybe I copy this and I get this inside of my while loop. Would this even make sense to get this inside of my while loop? Okay, let's go with the controllers to save the code. Equals to equals to. Huh. Okay, let's go with something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, perfect. That works. Okay, I just had to get my pushback inside my while loop. For loop is wrong. Honestly, my for loop is just for like iterating over my vector here. Okay, that said, size and indexing. Okay, let me go to controller. Control C now, get sensei slash ChatGPT here. Right, sorry. Okay, let me paste it. Go with shift enter and say, let's say, I actually forgot how to reverse the vector. Question mark. Let's see. Okay, Vivek, I see you're on fire, but let's not miss the details. To print a vector in reverse, you have a few options. Option 1, reverse loop using indices. Okay, so for every I which equals to number dot size minus 1, if I is greater than or equal to 0, I is going to decrease by 1. Standard console output number at index of I. Okay, I think I understand. Is this considered recursion, guys? You should use standard console endline instead of / new flush the output buffer. Honestly, guys, I've been using standard endline. Somebody in the stream said / new line is like better, so I was like, okay, might as well. I used to use endline. Like, I'm sometimes so confused. People like say different stuff. Why do you want to flush though? Okay, let's go with a standard console endline. Actually, standard endline. There we go. Okay, and guys, the stream started lagging again. Yeah, I think it just lags for about 2 minutes and then stops lagging. Okay, let's get ChatGPT here. Actually, let me get it back there. Okay, let's see. So, I gotta add another for loop. Option 1. Option 2 is include algorithm. What happens if we include algorithm? Standard reverse, numbers.begin, numbers.end. Okay, that would be helpful, but I prefer doing stuff manually first. So let's go with the manual way first. Okay, so I could go down and then add, let's say, another for loop. Okay, for a pair of parentheses. Guys, did my OBS crash? Okay, my OBS didn't crash yet. I hope. Okay, I didn't crash, guys. We're good, we're good. It's just so laggy, guys. Okay, let me just get back to NL is slower, but it's fast to type. / N is better. For competitive programming is very fast. Honestly, yeah, I should like get used to both those ways. Okay, let me see Sensei's instructions. Guys, everything is so laggy. My CPU is not strong enough. I can't wait to get the PC, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, so for every integer of I which equals to my numbers.the_size function, okay, new line is good for when you're putting a lot to output. End line might stall you. You want to flush because it doesn't actually have to print until you flush. Oh, I see. That actually makes sense. Okay, guys, I feel the lag is almost gonna end because, okay, yeah, the lag is getting better. There we go. I'll go with if my I is either less than or greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I'll go with a semicolon. I'll decrease I by 1. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Alright, perfect. Okay, what happens if I go with the controllers? I just want to see if this works because I did like copy that part of code. Okay, it says enter a number. See, like if you want to listen to me for the moment. Oh, guys, my laptop just went off. Okay, there we go. You need to use another libraries if you use include blitz/stdc++.h. Honestly, I do want to start the different libraries, but first I want to get like a good grasp on my C++ basics. Then I have like a separate stream on like using and learning different libraries, using different namespaces and all that. Okay, so let's go with 12, 23, 13, 4. Okay, so it still goes with 12. Most likely because of my standard console output here. Okay, let me remove this standard console output where I iterate over my numbers. Let me remove this. Okay, now if I go with the Control S, copy the code and save the code and run the command. I'll go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think I understand. So I create a variable called integer I inside of my for loop, which is equal to my numbers as vector dot the size function. There we go, guys. The lag's gone now. Okay, -1. Okay, I add an if condition. If my I is less than or equal to 0, is greater than or equal to 0, which it initially is, I minus minus. Standard console output with an insertion operator, I at index of 1. Okay, I do want to ask Sensei if this is recursion. Let's go to Control A, Control C, copy that. Get Sensei.GPT here. Let me paste this. Go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, I kind of see what this means in theory. I just need more practice in this exact same topic. That said, did we use recursion here? Okay, did we use recursion here? Let's see, Vivek, you're killing it. Yes, you nailed reversing the vector with a loop. This is exactly the kind of hands-on practice you need to cement understanding. Recursion, not yet, but it's coming. Recursion is another way to traverse a vector or any data structure without explicit looping. Basically, a function calling itself. For now, we stay on vectors plus loops so you can get confident handling them. Next practice challenge. Vector manipulation stream power. Create a vector of 5 numbers, okay, from user input. Insert a number at the 3rd position. Erase the 2nd number. Print the vector after each operation. Okay, erase the 2nd number. I see. Honestly, before I try that, I do want to write this code again because I want to understand this part real quick. Okay, because I didn't understand this. So I created an integer I variable which is equal to my numbers.size, my vector size, which is 5. I subtracted by 1. Okay, if I is less than or equal to 0, I minus minus. And then I go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of numbers at index of I with another insertion operator of an empty space. Okay, I actually think I see. So numbers at index of I, this so my numbers, my I variable, which is an integer, it keeps subtracting until my vector is not equal to 0. Why is this minus in that case and not plus? Okay, let me just copy this exact part. Get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, let me paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, I want help with this block of code, ... Can you help me understand it? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Absolutely, Vivek. Let's break it down slowly and stream proof. For every integer of I which equals to numbers.size minus 1, okay, if I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. Standard console output with an insertion operator, numbers at index of I with another insertion operator of an empty space. Integer I equals to numbers.size minus 1. Numbers.size gives the total number of elements in the vector. Okay, subtract 1 because C++ vectors are 0 indexes. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to start with 1. Okay, example, 5 elements, indices 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So numbers.size minus 1 equals to 4 starts at the last element. Okay, I think I see. I which is greater than or equal to 1. The loop continues as long as I is 0 or positive. Once I becomes -1, the loop stops. This ensures we traverse backwards from last element to first. I minus minus. After each iteration, I decreases by 1, moving backwards through the vector. Numbers at index of I access the element at index I in the vector. Combined with the loop, this prints elements in reversed order. I think I see. This loop starts the last element of the vector and goes back to the first, printing everything in reverse. Okay, if you want, I can draw a visual stream proof example. Okay, let me just say Let's say instead, can I get a instructional based question that requires me to use this code question mark? Okay, let's see. Alright, Vivek, listen up. I've got a stream-proof instructional vector question that makes you use that reverse loop block. Okay, task. Ask the user to enter 6 numbers into a vector, print the vector in the order they were entered, remove the third number from the vector, print the vector in reverse order. Yes, use the loop block you just learned. Ask the user to insert a new number at the second position, print the final vector in order. This will push you to use the pushback function, the erase function, the insert function, reverse printing loop, all while, okay, I see. Let's get sensei/chatgpt there. That said, let's go with the control A, delete the whole thing. Let me start off by including IO stream. So I'll include a pair of ankle braces, IO stream, okay? And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to be an integer. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. And then, let's see, let's read the first instruction. Ask the user to enter 6 numbers into a vector. Since I am going to be using a vector, let's go ahead and add or create a standard vector which consists of only integers. This is going to be called numbers. Okay, perfect. Standard vector, which vector. Okay, guys, my bad. I forgot to include vector. There we go. Let's go ahead and include vectors. Alright, perfect. Okay, my numbers won't be. I won't add anything inside of my vectors just yet because my player is going to be adding that. Instead, I will be adding a standard. Actually, I will be adding an integer of count variable. Since I need to enter 6 numbers, my count variable is going to be equal to 6. And then let's go ahead and add a while loop while a pair of parentheses while my count variable is either greater than or equal to 0. Okay, which it is greater than equal to 0 right now. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then let me go ahead and let's see. Maybe add an if statement. Ask the user to enter 6 numbers in the vector. So let's go ahead and ask that. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want the user to add something. So I'll go with something like enter a number. There we go. And then I'll end that with a semicolon. Then let's go ahead and add a standard console input. This time with an extraction operator. I want to extract a variable. So I could go ahead and create a number variable. Okay, I won't set that to anything. I'm going to be extracting my number variable. Okay, perfect. With that said, let me go ahead and do something else as well. I asked the user for a number. Okay. Every time a number is passed, I'll go with my count variable. I'll subtract that by 1. Okay, next up. Print the vector in the order they were entered. So, let me go ahead and print the vector in the order they were entered. So to do that, I could go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. Honestly, I could go with a for loop. So let's go with a for loop real quick. So for a pair of parentheses, let's say for every integer of num in my vector of numbers, okay, for every number in my vector of numbers, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then let's add something. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my num variable, which is going to be separated by a space. Okay, perfect. This basically gives me my individual elements inside of my vector. That said, the third instruction says remove the third number from the vector. So, to remove the third number from my vector, let me go ahead and add the erase function or use the erase function. So, I could go with something like, let's see, maybe under my for loop, let's go with my numbers as vector dot the push underscore back. Actually, since I want to erase something, I'll go with the erase function. Okay, and then I want to erase something from my numbers as vector. So I'll go with numbers dot the begin function. I want to erase something at the third element. So I'll increase that by 3. Okay, and that's basically it. Next up, the fourth instruction says print the vector in reverse order. Yes, you use the double block you just learned. Okay, ask the user to insert a new number at the second position. So I got to print it in reverse order. So let's do that. I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to print it in reverse order. Honestly, since I am going with reverse order, I could go with a for loop. So let's go with a for loop. For every I, which stands for index as well, for every integer I, which equals to 1. I'll end that with a semicolon. Okay, for every integer I which equals to 1, I'll check if my I is either greater than or equal to 5. I could keep that I minus 1. Okay, I equals to 1 minus 1. Okay, if my I is either greater than or equal to 5, I'll go with I minus minus. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of curly braces. Let's see, now I'll go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something. I want to insert my numbers as vector at index of I. This is going to give me the reversed I if I didn't mess anything up here. Okay, which is going to be separated by an empty space. Okay, with that said, the next instruction says ask the user to insert a new number at the position 2. It says ask the user. So if I want to ask the user, I could create a variable called something like integer of ask. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like hello user. Okay, enter a number. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my ask. Okay, perfect. Next up, I gotta ask the user to insert a new number at position 2. So I'll go with something like, let's see guys, no way my stream is lagging again. Okay, let me go ahead and go with my numbers this vector dot the insert function. I want to insert something inside of my vector. So my vector is my numbers dot the begin function. The begin function gives me access to the index 0, which is the first element. I gotta add something to the second element, so let's go ahead and increase that by 2. Okay, and what I want to add is my ask variable. There we go. I will end that with a semicolon. Lastly, print the final vector in normal order. So to print the final vector, guys, my stream started lagging again, no way. Okay, so I'll go with a for loop. So for a pair of parentheses, let's say for every num, for every integer of num in my vector of numbers, I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my num variable. Okay, with another insertion operator of an empty space. Alright, perfect. Okay, that honestly works. Next up, let me go ahead and return 0, but before that I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line. This ends my line. I will be adding that after my second for loop as well, so a standard console output with an insertion operator of a standard end line. Okay, lastly I'll add that after my first for loop as well. There we go guys, the lag's gone. Okay, so I'll go with a standard console output. Excuse me guys, let's say with a standard end line. Okay, perfect. Okay, this actually does make sense now. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. If I were to hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command, guys, is the lag back again? I just realized we're kind of close to our stream goal. Like, we're at 242 subscribers, guys. 8 more to go. Okay, let's go with enter a number. My number is going to be something like 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, 7, 8. Hello user, enter a number. Let's go with a number. I could go something like 9. Okay. I went with 9. Aren't my standard console outputs like working? Let's see. Numbers are erased. Standard console outputs. Should they push back like... Okay, no numbers are being pushed back inside of my vector. Okay, I didn't add the numbers in my vector. So, let's go ahead and add them inside of my vector. So, numbers dot the push underscore back function. I want to push back something inside of my vector. Let's go with my number variable. There we go. I'll end that with a semicolon. Now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, it says enter a number. I'll go with 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's in the correct order. Let's go with 19. Okay, that's in the correct order as well. So there are two orders that I wanted. First, the correct order. Second, the reversed order. Apparently, my reversed order is not being printed. Okay, honestly, let me check where I messed up with the reversed order. Okay, so when I go with my integer I, this is not equal to a 1 minus 1. This equals to my numbers as size. What is that random as library you're pending? Okay, so I'll go with numbers dot the size function. There we go. This should work. Let's go with Control S to save the code and run the command. Okay, let's go with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the last number is 8. I'm getting a bit close, guys. Let's go with 12. Okay, guys, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. Okay, so I go with a standard console output. If my I is greater than or equal to, let's say 0, okay, then I decrease my I by 1. Let's go with the Control S now. If I run the code, let's see, I'll go with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the original order. That is the reversed order. That's 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. I don't see a 5. I see a 6, 7. Oh, okay, because I did erase the 5 from the list, like right here. Okay, perfect. I think that's pretty much it. Let's go with Control A, Control C, copy that, get sensei/ChatGPT here, paste it, go with Shift Enter and say, Sensei, I feel like this is the last question that I should do because I have a lot of college work. That said, I might end the stream right now. Is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Guys, I should fix my typo. That's so many. I get so many typos. Listen up, y'all. Listen up, all you stream warriors watching Vivek. Today you witnessed pure logic and vector domination. Vivek didn't just write code, he conquered while loops, for loops, and nested loops, conditionals, and vector manipulation. Remember, practice isn't about writing code once, it's about breaking it, fixing it, and understanding it. That's how you get strong. If y'all want to level up like Vivek, take notes, try variations, and push yourself beyond comfort. And hey, if you want to join a community of coders leveling up like him, join the Discord. I did not say Sensei to do this, guys. How does Sensei even have my Discord? Oh, I think it's from the previous chats. Okay, guys. I didn't say Sensei, Sensei said it. You guys could join the Discord server, link is in the description and in the pinned comments. That said, Vivek, I'm proud, headpad plus stream hype, high five, okay. Now go tackle that college work, but you know this. You left today's stream stronger than you came in. We'll be back to loops, vectors, and more C++ domination soon. Alright, let me go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. I did want to go longer. Maybe after my call is done, I'll be streaming for 6 hours again. That said, if you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like jumps with my algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I will be like, I do kind of apologize for the stream lag and everything because my PC CPU can't handle my OBS. That said, I am planning to get like an actual PC. Once I build it, I will be multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok at the same time. So if you guys do enjoy my content, make sure to follow me there. The link will be in the description. And also join the Discord server. Link is in the description and in the pinned comments. Well, I'll catch you guys on the next live stream or video. Peace. Guys, I feel